Hello, welcome back to my channel. So today I am going to share a few of my fall TBR picks with you. It seems very ironic since I have been sweating all day because it's over 100 degrees still where I live, and it will be for some time. But I am doing the law of attraction and I am thinking about fall, and I am, what do you call it? What is it when you manifesting? I am manifesting fall vibes. I know everybody is doing their fall TBRs. I actually did one on my TikTok, so you can go check that out. But this is kind of like my extended version. So I have a few books here that I have been kind of saving, and then some other books that I just feel like they feel like fall to me. So let's get started. Okay, the first book I have here is Cursed Bread by Sophie Mackintosh. I've had this book for quite some time. It feels like one of those books that is going to be really weird, and I feel like weird is what you're going for in the fall, Halloween, spooky times. This book is polarizing. I think people really like this, or people just don't like it at all. So I'm really interested to see where I fall. If you watch my channel, you know I am all over the place with my reviews compared to the popular ratings on Goodreads and from what I see online. So you never know where I'm going to fall. From what I've gathered, the main character is a baker's wife, and she's kind of like yearning for something to happen, something exciting in her life. And these two people move to her city, and then all these weird things start happening. Like they find dead horses in a field and they're arranged oddly. Boy throws himself into a fire one day, like randomly. Like there's all this weird hysteria and weird stuff going on, and you kind of just reading it and waiting for it to unfold. I'm really curious. I don't know, like, does it have to do with the bread being poisoned? I don't know. So it just sounds kind of like a fun, weird read. And I've had this on my shelf for a while and I really want to get to it. So I think this season will be good timing for that. The next book I have is really the only thriller, like true thriller, that I have on my shelf. And I feel like during the Halloween season, that's exactly what I want to be reading. And it is Not a Happy Family by Shari LaPena. Not sure if I'm butchering her name, but I've never read from this thriller author. I know that she's pretty popular. I've never read anything from her. And I actually picked this book up, I think, last year, wanting to kind of see if I liked her style, but I never got around to it. So I feel like I'm going to be in the mood for a page turning thriller. And this is going to be a book that I'm definitely going to read in October. I'm kind of contemplating doing a thriller horror week of reading in October just to kind of get me even more into the Halloween vibe and the Halloween mood. So this is probably going to be on that TBR. So I'm really excited to get to this one. The next one I have is Atonement. So this is one I know that I'm going to really love. If you've seen the movie, then you know what happens. It is a very dramatic love story, and it is basically about how humans are flawed and they make decisions, and it spreads and ripples and touches other people's lives in unimaginable ways. And in the fall, I'm kind of looking to be cozy and feel a little bit gloomy, just like the weather, and really get in my feels. I think Atonement is going to take me there. So I've been kind of saving this one for that time. And I heard that if you like the movie, that the book is really good as well, if not better, and it follows very closely to the movies. And I've read the first few pages, and it does read very much like I feel like the movie goes. The general plot of this book, it gives you very dark, gloomy love vibes, but not in the good way. You know what I'm saying? If you read the movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So this one. The next book I want to get to is Bel Canto by Ann Patchett. I am in my Ann Patchett era this year. I've been reading a few of her books and I'm really enjoying it. So I am so excited to get to Bel Canto. It is about a lavish dinner party that's happening, and then a terrorist group comes in and starts taking hostages. Mostly what I've read from Ann Patchett isn't plot driven high stakes like that, so I'm actually super interested to see, because I don't feel like this is anything that I've read from her so far. I don't know why I'm giving this into fall vibes, but like suit and ties and like rich people going to parties, I don't know, that kind of just screams like dark money fall vibes. I don't know. I am justifying these books to fit the means, and I am making this feel fall. The next book I have is Blue Sisters by Coco Malors. I have been wanting to get to this book. It is a new release in September. It is about four sisters, and one sister passes away, and the other three have to come together, I guess, to kind of deal with the aftermath. And they all seem like very different and very dysfunctional. I have a lot of differences and dynamics going on. So this feels like it's going to be a lot of vibes, no plot, probably very similar to her other book, Cleopatra and Frankenstein. So I feel like I'm going to be way more into those types of books in the fall, when I'm just kind of being lazy and wanting to cozy up and get to know some characters. So really excited for this one. And that's just like a gorgeous cover. Next up, and a book that I have been saving basically all year to read, and I've actually started, I'm already about halfway through, and that is The Secret History. This book is a modern classic. It is basically what I gathered like the godfather of dark academia, and what screams fall but dark academia. So I am enjoying this one so far. I was a little nervous going into it just because it is so popular, and the last few popular books that I've been reading I've been really disappointed by. So I kind of tried to go into this really open-minded and just really just going with the vibes, and it's been serving me well because I've really been enjoying it. I really like the characters. It is a little slow, but I think because it's really adding the atmosphere, it's really fleshing out these characters, and I really enjoy that. This is like the epitome of fall to me, so I'm so excited to be finally reading it, and it'll definitely be in my September wrap-up video. The next book I have on my list is a new release that I was really excited about this year, and then I got it and just never got around to reading it. That is Faebound. I actually listened to a podcast called No Right Way, and it is hosted by V.E. Schwab, and she interviews different writers and their writing process basically. And this author was on there, and she talked a little bit about writing this book, and it kind of got me more excited and motivated again to get to it, because I am going to get to this book this fall, and it is about, I think, fairies and elven sisters and the fae and danger and love, and it feels like fall fantasy, and it's giving very like moody cover vibes. So really excited to get to this one. Let me know if you've read this one. I feel like some people really, really love it. I'm kind of curious to see where I land with it. I think it's going to be a multi-book series. I don't think it's a standalone. I think it's like book one. I'll put a little note up on the screen if that's Faebound. I mean, he basically screams scary and screams Halloween, and that is Stephen King, and this is his short story collection, You Like It Darker. I've been saving this one. I have been wanting to read it in spooky season. So, I mean, I don't really think I need to explain why Stephen King falls into this category. It is a bunch of stories. I'm a little bit nervous because I think some of the stories are connected to other Stephen King novels that I may not have read yet. So I'm hoping that I still can enjoy those stories without knowing any of the background or the connections of those characters. We'll see. This is my Stephen King. And then I have this book that has been super popular, partly because it was part of a lot of book clubs and a celebrity book club, but also I think just because it's really good and it's really different and fast-paced, and that is All the Colors of the Dark. I am so excited to get to this one. It seems a little beefy, but I heard it reads really quickly. It seems like it's a lit fic with some thriller, with some maybe small horror elements. So I don't know much about it, but you have Gillian Flynn and Kristen Hanna blurbing it, which are two very different authors in my mind. So that's kind of exciting to me. That's All the Colors of the Dark. And the next book and final book that I have on my little fall TBR here is Greenwood by Michael Christie. Nice floppy paperback with some beautiful wood grain sprayed edges. This is a multi-generational family book that follows, I think, different members in this family from early 1900s to the late mid 2000s. And I don't know quite a lot about it, but I think it is tying nature with this family's origin story and their lives and how they connect with trees. So I feel like it's giving Overstory vibes, although I haven't read Overstory either. But Overstory by Richard Powers also, I feel like, kind of interweaves family and human nature with trees. And that's what this is giving me. It's trees, so fall. Like, that's how I'm connecting those two. I love family generational stories, and I think this is going to be right up my alley. So those are the 10 fall TBR books. I will try picking them up. It's very heavy, and I am really excited to get to them. I have so many other just books on my general TBR that I really want to get to and prioritize before end of the year. I also plan on doing a video, maybe it'll probably be either in October or November, and it's going to be me rewatching my rest of TBR video that I made a couple months ago. And on that video, I had a huge stack of books that I was like, I need to read these by the end of the year. And I can't remember any of those books. And I don't know if I've been reading them. So I need to read them in or I need to watch that video in October and November and see what those books are, because if I haven't read a lot of those, I need to prioritize those for the last couple months of this year and really try to get to them and hit my goal. So I have a lot of aspirational reading going on here, just like everybody else, I guess. I hope you will follow along and watch me as I go. And I thank you so much for being here, and I will see you in my next video.